So this is Shovel Knight 80%, and this is all going to be a little bit of an impromptu. Shovel Knight's basic moves here. He has the ability to swing the shovel, which will dip dirt block. He'll be able to get it. It's a very, very powerful move. He might be supplementing that with some weapons. But he also has the shovel drop, which allows him to take care of dirt blocks that are below it, and bounce on enemies and come up. Jumping up the ladders because it just takes forever to slowly climb up the ladders. My apologies, I have the hiccups. And also see it bearing his way through dirt. That was done by mashing jump and shovel at the same time. You can either find a button where you can kind of like hold your thumb over both buttons and just smash it down. It's not that difficult of a technique, it's pretty useful here. And for someone asking what the X and button is, X and button actually takes most of the big nouns in the game and turns it into. So you get all kinds of hilarious dialogue. You must go save shield butt from the order of butt. Pretty soon he'll be coming up against Black Knight, the first fight in the game. Black Knight's actually pretty difficult. There is a stunlock for him, but otherwise fighting him legitimately is not easy. He's actually also one of the few bosses that will react to the damage that you do. So he'll be knocked back and he has iframe. One trip to the village is mandatory, and then afterwards, after the first of the Knight's levels, you're going to... Could be going to Lich Yard first, but most players... Basically every player will go first, because there's nothing you need to particularly purchase, and it's just easier to get King Knight out of the way. The way checkpoints work in this game is, now that we're out of the first, they are breakable. So if he so feels confident, he can actually go ahead and destroy a checkpoint to collect the money inside, but then it no longer serves as... Cro's gonna have to be a little careful. Some of these attacks will deal a full heart of damage, so he definitely has to make sure he avoids specific abilities. Croak doing a very good job of staying alive. And here's King Knight, the first of the Order of No Quarter that Croak is going to be fighting. King Knight likes to jump around a lot. He's a little bit easy in terms of all the other bosses, like his abilities are super basic, but his constantly moving around is a threat in the sense that contact damage, is going to build up, especially when Shovel Knight has such low HP. Very good use of shovel swinging at the end of the fight, though. When an enemy is low enough to the ground, you can keep jumping and attacking, and it's your best way of dealing damage as quickly as possible. An interesting route choice so far. I'm not in call with Croakomire right now, so I'm kind of having to take a guess based on the amount of other runs that I've seen of this game. And most runners will, at a later point, pick up the mobile gear and the dust knuckles, the propeller dagger. Those are basically the only required items for this run. And then after that, there's a couple of other items that people will choose. So the Chaos Orb, the Flare Wand, the Alchemy Coin, those are all viable routes, but there's also some runners who choose neither item, none of the items. Croak is doing a pretty good job of handling the Lich Yards, the special brand of stage hazards. Dark rooms, rising platforms that require weights on them, frog. And it looks like he is getting the phase locket, so that's a pretty good safety item. The phase locket will take him out for about, I think, 4 seconds. He won't take any damage from any enemies in that small amount of... It can also be used for some time saves, but those tricks are also really, really difficult, so I wouldn't be surprised if he chose not to go for them. Oh, that was pretty scary. He almost got knocked into the water there. He will be swimming later on, but right now this water is an instant death. Nice, and he managed to catch the platform side. So Spectre Knight, as I said before, not many bosses are affected by your shovel's attack. But Spectre Knight, when he's up in the air and he's able to freely move around, you can actually attack him and keep him in. But that's not very easy to do. And once he's lost about half his HP, he'll basically decide to turn the light. We'll see if he can get him before that happens. Nice. Yeah, he managed to take him out before he summoned any skeletons or anything. Good stuff. And then he's heading for the dream sequence where your objective is essentially to die as quickly as you can. This will end after a fixed amount of time. But if Shovel Knight is knocked out, then Shield Knight will immediately begin falling. And the dream sequence ends once Shovel Knight catches Shield Knight, or if she hits the ground. It's also a good opportunity to get a bunch of money, but it depends on what the runner is most comfortable. Ooh, that was very close. He almost caught her way up in the sky. And you do get a meal ticket from your campfire, but only once you've completed essentially a world. So the first 3 stages, the next 3 stages, and then 3 more stages. So he bought a magic upgrade, he changed some of his meal tickets for food, and he got the Chaos. Chaos Orbs are a very reliable weapon for dealing damage. Choosing the Ceriam first. This stage is pretty scary. A lot of the hazards in this stage will deal full hearted damage. So you have exploding rats, fire traps, spiked pot lids, the acid under those pot lids. Doing a very good job of avoiding a lot of the explosions and damage. Yeah, don't blame him for having the phase lock it out and ready. There's food nearby, he just has to make sure you can get it. coming up on the mini-boss, the Alchemeister. This mini-boss actually has more HP than any boss. It has about 23 hits worth, if I'm not mistaken. But he will sit in one spot of the room, so it's a little easier to just wail on this guy. See, a lot of these rooms are not really designed for your safety in mind. These slimy duplicates of Shovel Knight, they actually will react to what you do, so if you jump in front of them or around them, they'll try to jump at the same time, which is kind of annoying. It's a good thing he knew where that chicken was, because Plague Knight's also a very tricky fight. Even if you know how to fight him, he's one of the few bosses that's extremely random in behavior, so you have to constantly take a guess at where he's going to be next. Reflecting potions is a bonus if you can. Shovel Knight can actually reflect a lot of projectiles back at enemies. So now our runner is in the iron. As I said before, you would be entering some water. This stage's water is actually entirely navigable, no problem. He's not going to immediately explode upon touching this water. He's going to fall a little bit slower in this water, and he's going to jump a lot higher. That's about it as far as mechanics change. He does have 4,000 gold on him right now. He could be saving that for later. The Dust Knuckles, as I said before, are extremely useful. Most 80% runners pick them, but they cost 3,000 gold within the stage. If he is feeling confident enough, then he could be buying the anchors halfway through this stage. They're a nice supplementary weapon. And bosses reward 2,000 gold in this set of stages for being... So now he's fighting the mini-boss of this stage, Tiefel. This boss takes 12 hits to dispatch, and if you're lucky, then you can take him out before he gets to the other side of the screen. He did get 3 swings on one pass there, but Tiefel does need to cooperate for you to be able to successfully hit the angle. Nice job getting dirt skip. Oh, but he was a little too zealous there. He tried to skip the rockets. That's actually not something even top runners will often go for ever at all, because it's just super fun. He didn't somehow fall down his screen, so he was very fortunate. He has a couple more rooms to go before he gets to Treasure Knight. So in the meantime, I'd like to remind everyone that this is the Ceriam Hurricane Relief Marathon. Ceriam is an Earthbound runner who lost everything to Hurricane Michael on the 16th of October. Waldo is holding this marathon to help him get himself back up on his feet. So any donations will be benefiting Ceriam and recovering basically everything. He doesn't have much of anything after the hurricane kind of decimated him. So here's Treasure Knight. Treasure Knight's anchor deals a full heart of damage. This is a big struggle for a lot of runners because of how much damage he can deal. Constantly shovel attacking Treasure Knight is not easy. The underwater physics make it difficult to stay on top of him like you would on any of them. He actually did a very good job taking him out even before the treasure box attack. We're stopping at the armor outpost right now. This is a place for a couple of really awesome upgrades. He's grabbing Charge Slash, leaves him at 3,400 gold. Not enough to buy anything else really, but it is a very, very useful attack. Ooh, he got a teal deer lady. Nice. Skip the village. A lot of runners like to see what their luck is with the townies. Backfellows are also really top tier if you can get any of them. I see an oddbot in the chat. Word. And Croakomire is handling Beetle 1 right now. I wonder if he's going to do Beetle Skip. It's actually pretty difficult to set up. He might just be waiting for the Beetle. Where this big photo, my apologies, know the lore, know what enemies are actually. so a charge slash only takes a moment to get ready, and it deals a full heart of damage if you can get it out. It does slow Shovel Knight down while he's holding the attack. Manages to make it past the very scary room, good stuff, and it looks like he's grabbing the Dust Knuckles now. So at the cost of 2 of his mana, essentially, he'll be able to punch through dirt through enemies. He can do it 4 times in succession, unless if there's like a bunch of dirt blocks in the way. But you can punch enemies 4 times before you have to take a break. You flip out of it. Ooh, he broke the big this checkpoint at Beetle 2. That's a little scary, but if you're going for less risky strats, it's not so. It's just a ways back to the previous checkpoint if he should die. Oh, okay, he jumped free. Now facing Mole Knight, who's going to dive back and forth. You'll only get the chance to swing at him a couple times while he's flying around. Does this bully skid, causing a couple ground sparks. You can actually reflect those ground sparks. And if you can manage to get behind him in the corner, you can deal a lot of damage to him. You want to try and take him out after this fire phase at the very least, otherwise he's going to go back through the walls and take forever and kill him. Uh-oh. Manages to get a charge slash on him. Nice, and he finishes him off with a Chaos Orb. So now he's completed 3 more stages, he has another dream sequence to deal with. Again, he can use this opportunity to get more money if he needs to. He'll be getting a meal ticket after. And since he has 4,000 gold on hand, he has more than enough if he wants to go and buy something like a Conjurer's Coat if he wants to go back to the Armor Outpost. But more specifically, he could just be saving that money for the Propeller Dagger, which costs 4,000 gold in the stage. It looks like he's heading for the stranded ship. This stage is, World 3, honestly, from this point on, the game gets a lot scarier. The ice physics are really annoying to deal with. You could easily slide to your death in a lot of different ways. But there's also a lot of open gaps, bottomless pits, spikes are prevalent as well. Okay, just like that. between my fit of hiccups that I still have. I have had these hiccups since last night. God help. It's not worth it, man. Don't go for it. Crocamire's doing a good job of making sure not to land on spikes before the snow does. The snow will allow him to walk on those spikes, but you do have to make sure that you knock it down before you try walking on it. He's trying for a very specific one-tile gap here. I am certainly, I respect the attempt. The nice thing about this ship that this statue he's knocking around now is that it basically one-shots any enemy that it comes to hunt. Nice. So one of the nice things about enemies in this game is that if you are dealing damage to an enemy, while you are dealing damage to it, then its hitbox is not active. So you'll actually be able to, for example, on Polar Knight, he might be able to do it. Looks like he was saving up all of his energy so he could use the phase locket on this last section. So he did a good job taking care of Polar Knight there. It was a little bit of a scary fight, unveiling spikes beneath the floor. But now he's heading up to the Clockwork Tower. This is actually one of the longest stages in the game because it has sort of 2 auto-scrollers. He does have a lot of money, so I expect him to be able to purchase that mobile gear we talked about earlier. It allows you to essentially run over spikes with it. The room that contains the mobile gear is actually kind of a really scary room. Oh man, he barely grabbed the ladder there too. And riding the mobile gear out. It's nice that all of these rooms sort of show you how you're supposed to use their items. That was actually a neat little trick there. He actually saved a little bit of time jumping off of. These daggers that are attached to rockets are actually one of the worst enemies in. They are known as sine daggers because of the way they fly up and down in sine curves, and they are completely random in terms of where they're going to appear. So on some attempts you'll be like, oh, this is fine, you know, it never bothered me here, and then on other attempts they're just gonna be completely in the way. Now whenever you die, you drop a quarter of your money. He has more than enough money to get the propeller dagger right now, but still might want to get some of it. Ooh boy. So yeah, he is using the mobile gear to skip some of the auto-scroller. This first one here, it's not a screen-locked auto-scroller. You are intended to ride this giant moving platform. But this is a nice skip for that. So the next one he does encounter, the vertical one, will be a screen-locked auto-scroller. Now, getting the mobile gear is important for a couple reasons. Apart from the various stage skips you get, it also one-shots. so it'll cut like a minute out of the run by itself. That said, phase 2 is a lot more difficult, especially if you go for a specific strat. He tried to get an early jump on the drill there. Yacht Club actually specifically colored the drill the same color as the cones that you use throughout the stage so that players would get the idea that they can... So now he's headed into the flying machine. The stage is known amongst all the runners as probably the most hated one in terms of things that can go wrong and things that can... It's very easy to die because wind is a prevalent mechanic in this stage, can push you to pits, whether you like it or not. There are plenty of spikes, and there's an enemy called the hover meanie later on. We call them Jawas because that's what they look like. Ooh, that's a shame. Yeah, I would, that's not an easy situation to be put into, where hover meanies, as soon as they are on screen, they will start chasing you down no matter where you are. They'll go through anything and everything to try and get to you. He at least managed to get back a little bit of his money there. And these other armored enemies in gold, they're hover halves. They're slightly random. They're a little annoying to deal with, but they're not as bad as the hover minis, because hover minis can just straight up push you into things. That is not a comfortable position to be in. Job handling the mini-boss, and the propeller dagger is in a hidden little room on the side. In order to get into the room, you have to drop in from a screen on the...
so now you can use the propeller dagger for 4 mana. He can fly around. It's a decent lunge forward. You can use it in the air. It's very life-saving. You actually just use it to grab that. That was really funny. He bonked into the wall. That small amount of recoil allowed him to grab the ladder. Ah yes, the triple Jawa room. So if you thought having one of them was enough fun, you can actually have 3 on the screen at the same time. That one wasn't too bad. He actually managed to get them to kind of help him focus. He's almost at the last 2 wind room. Nice, stopping just to briefly grab that mana pot holds 30 power in it. So Propeller is one of the more difficult fights. He actually deals with a lot of damage with all of his lunges, which he starts the whole beginning of the fight with. That Propeller, trying, like, if you get caught by his, the fan on his head, that's a hard neck. He actually managed to dodge the dagger that Propeller has when he blew him up. You have to move to the side at the very end in order to be able to hit him like. Looks like he's just trying to end the sequence as quickly as possible this time around. And again, it's a little bit faster if you can be underneath Shield Knight, but it's okay if you don't catch her. You can tell you caught her if you hear the... So now we have the end game. This is essentially your Wily stages. Essentially, every hazard from every stage is going to appear in this level. And then the infamous Crusher section. This stage, there is like a fast cycle through this section. It is fairly difficult to keep up with. You could end up trapping yourself in a bad situation. That's not good. Ooh, oh man. Press F to pay respects. I did a much better job this time of getting through. He's still gonna have to be careful not to get. His health is getting a little low there, it's slightly concerning. As long as he knows how to deal with enemies that are coming up, he should... So in these last couple dark rooms here, anywhere that you see the rain splashing on the ground, that indicates that is a real floor that you can stand on. If you don't see that effect, then that is probably a fake foreground. He's coming up on. This is supposed to be the third encounter with Black Knight, but if you're playing the game quickly enough, you actually get to skip the second Black Knight encounter. And nice job reflecting that fireball back at him. Nice. That was pretty scary at the end. Basically, he could have died from anything at one full. So there are a lot of extremely precariously placed hazards at this point of the game. Like, the developers definitely knew that they were putting stuff in spots to get you killed very quickly. Nice job getting on top of the screen here. They actually left this section here, so if you have the propeller dagger, you can make it across the room very. So up next, Croakomire is going to be fighting the boss rush, where you have to deal with all 8 nights in a row. You will be getting a dinner plate between each night, so you do get a health refill, which is pretty nice. Every other dinner plate will also have a pot of mana, so you can use it to recover all your weapon energy if you need to. The order is going to be essentially random, the only exception to that being that Polar Knight has to be one of the first three bosses that this arena does slightly change up how you may have done the fights in the original level. Not only do you you don't really have the same control of where you begin the stage every time. You have a little bit of control. You want to try and end up in the middle of the room if you can. But the shape of the room is slightly different. So the floor is a little bit higher. You can't fight Spectre the same way as a result. There's no ceiling, so fights like King and Treasure end up being a little bit different as well. The room is also a little bit wider, so that kind of changes how fast Mole Knight goes across the room from side to side. Doing a nice job dealing a lot of damage to Mole Knight. Nice job getting with the mobile gear there. That was a little close. He almost walked back. Yo, and he chose to save the knights. Nice. Except for Tinker. Doing a good job of dodging all these bricks here. Does have the Enchantress coming up left, the Enchantress, and the last fight, the Remnant. Enchantress is pretty scary. All she really does are these fireball attacks, but she moves around quite a lot, which makes it really difficult to actually hit. Enchantress's attack keeps giving back a bunch of floor. Just a heart and a half left. Nice. And time will be coming up shortly. It's on the last hit of the next boss. Nice catch! Nice job with the knuckle strat. That's actually pretty difficult to keep up with the Remnant like. And time. It was a 1:10.56 by the looks of it. Oh, GG's to Croakomire. And good luck to Ceriam with the rest of this marathon. Please, any amount to help him out would be appreciated. Thank you.